What's up guys, and welcome back to the workshop. In this episode, I'm going to be going over how to sharpen every knife you own on the Ken Onion Edition Knife and Tool Sharpener Mark II. We're going to break this video up into chapters, so if you're looking for something in particular for your particular knife, you can find it down below. But stick around for this first part because I'm going to go over some basic techniques that will apply to every knife as we sharpen. When it comes to sharpening any knife, you always want to remember place, power, pull, stop. What I mean by that is, as you go to start sharpening on this sharpener, it's important to place the knife in the guide, power the machine on, pull through at 1 inch per second, and then stop with the tip of the knife still in contact with the belt. By doing this, you're making sure you get an even grind on all your knives. By stopping with the knife still in contact with the belt, you'll ensure that the belt does not get a chance to wrap around the tip of the knife and cause rounding, which can be a common issue. As long as you stop with the tip on the belt, your knives will maintain those factory profiles and may even get sharper tips than you've had before. Before we get into sharpening all these knives, there's one more thing you should know about. Your sharpener included this handy quick start guide. This is a great way to reference how to sharpen a lot of the knives that you'll encounter. What it does is it breaks down sharpening into a sort of recipe. It tells you what speed to set the sharpener to, what angle you should set the sharpener to depending on that knife, and what grit progression to use depending on the condition of your knife. The first knife we're going to sharpen is a kitchen knife. If you're not here to sharpen a kitchen knife, stick around because I'm going to go over the steps it takes to sharpen all the knives on this table in detail with this one, and then we'll streamline the rest. With that out of the way, let's sharpen a knife. Let's start with a kitchen knife. Just about everyone's got one in their home, so this will be a great one to start with. We're going to set our angle at 20 degrees. We're going to use the X65, X22, and X4 belts, and we're going to set the speed to 3. Let's dive in. To sharpen the kitchen knife, place the knife in the guide with the heel in contact with the abrasive. Lean the knife over against the guide, power the machine on, and pull through at 1 inch per second. Be sure to stop with the tip of the knife still in contact with the belt. Make 3 to 5 passes until a burr is formed along the entire edge of the knife. You can identify a burr by running your finger down and away across the blade. It should feel like you're getting hung up on a fine wire. A burr forms as you remove material from one side of the knife, eventually pushing that material to the opposite side. You'll want that burr across the entire edge. Once you've got a burr on one side of the knife, repeat the same number of strokes on the opposite side. For this knife, it'll be 5 strokes on each side. Now remove the X65 belt and install the X22. Make 4 passes, this time alternating strokes on each side of the knife. Next, we'll install the X4. Again, alternating strokes for 10 passes per side, refining the edge to your liking. Next, let's sharpen a fillet knife. Fillet knives can be notoriously difficult to sharpen. Lucky for you, the Ken Onion makes it pretty straightforward. One of the things you want to look out for is to use light pressure. Because this blade does have a lot of flex, that light pressure will maintain that factory profile. The other difficulty you'll notice is that it has a short spine to edge height. And so as you pull through the guide, you're going to lose contact with that guide. Just stay steady and consistent as you pull through, and you'll be just fine. The recipe we recommend for this knife is the belt progression of X65, X22, and X4. We'll set the speed at 3 and set our angle at 20 degrees. Next, let's sharpen a recurve. The difficulty with recurves on most systems is the curve makes it hard for a stone to get in between that arc. What's nice about the flexible belt technology is it actually follows the curvature of the blade. To sharpen this knife, we're going to place it in the guide and follow the curve of the knife all the way through to the tip. This recurve is an outdoor style knife, so we're going to use the recipe for most outdoor knives, which is a 25-degree angle. We'll use the X65, X22, and X4 belt progression and a speed of 3. Next up, let's sharpen a hunting knife. Hunting knives come in a lot of different varieties. Some of them are thinner to be more slicey. Some of them are more traditional and offer a wider spine. The important thing to remember when sharpening a hunting knife is it's likely going to be maintained out in the field, so match the angle at home that you'll have out in the field. If you're using our guided field sharpener, we recommend an angle of 20 degrees. Next, let's tackle knives with large thumb studs. The angle guide should accommodate most thumb studs, but you're going to want to watch out for the belt. If your thumb stud does happen to contact with the belt, angle the knife back, then power the machine on and settle in on the front edge guide as you pull through and follow the curvature of the blade. Next, let's sharpen a Tanto. Tantos can be difficult because you want to make sure to maintain your transition and not have it get rounded over. To do that, we're going to sharpen this knife like it's two separate knives. Sharpen from the heel to the transition. Be sure to stop with the belt still in contact with that transition so it doesn't end up rounding it off. Then you'll change the angle so that you're sharpening from the transition to the tip. Make the same number of passes on each section of the knife so you maintain an even bevel on both sections of the knife. Then repeat the process on the opposite side. Next up, let's sharpen some curved blades. This is a hawksbill type carpet knife. You'll also see this kind of curvature on Karambits. The nice thing about the Kin Onion is it's able to follow the curvature of this type of knife. What you'll want to do to make sure that you're able to get that handle all the way through is move the sharpener to the edge of your table or work surface so that as you pull the knife through, you've got room for that handle to move down and maintain an even bevel along the knife. Next, let's talk about knives with flipper tabs. Flipper tabs can often interfere with the front edge guide, making it difficult to get all the way to the heel of the knife. To accommodate for that, move the front edge guide out of the way, place the knife in the guide with the heel in contact with the abrasive, power on, and float the knife through across the abrasive. Next, let's talk about large outdoor knives. These knives typically are used for harder use, so we recommend a wider angle when sharpening these knives. Angles of 25 to 30 degrees are common. For this knife, we're going to go with a 25-degree angle. We'll use a belt recipe of X65, X22, and X4, and we'll use a speed of 3. Next up, let's sharpen a serrated knife. To sharpen a serrated knife, you'll want to use the 6,000 grit belt and a speed of 2. What's unique about the serrated knife is you can either remove the guide for access to the belt, or you may be able to leave it on depending on the size of the knife. We're going to sharpen the flat side of the serrations. Place the serrations flat side on the right side of the machine so the belt is moving downward. Power the machine on, and starting from the heel, work your way towards the tip. This will stand the tips of the serrations back up, leaving you sharp serrations going forward. Next up, let's sharpen a gut hook. What's great about the flexible belt technology built into the Kin Onion is that the belts flex into a gut hook. What you'll want to do for this is make sure to use the right side of the machine so that the belt is moving downward. Place the gut hook on the belt so that it conforms into the gut hook. Power the machine on for about 2 to 4 seconds to polish one side of the gut hook, then do the opposite side as well. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you're here looking to understand how to use your Ken Onion sharpener to sharpen tools, there's a link for that down in the description. We're also going to do a video on how to sharpen every knife you own using the blade grinding attachment. If we didn't get to a knife you wanted to see, leave a comment down below or reach out to our customer service team. Thanks for watching, guys.